And then what's leaving is represented by an Antares, which is conjunct the south node. So Antares is the star that is considered to be the heart of the Scorpion. So this forms part of the opposite zodiac sign of Scorpio. So we've got Taurus with Aldebaran, and we've got Antares with Scorpio. It's interesting because, again, if we go back in the mythology, one of the figures that this star is associated with is the figure of Seth or Set in Egyptian mythology. Now Set was the sort of fiery, chaotic and destructive male principle. He was the kind of counterpart to Osiris, in much the same way as as we have in other sort of cosmologies and traditions, where you kind of have the hero and the anti-hero. So what's interesting about the Egyptian tradition, which I really like, is that they didn't see Set as being evil or kind of bad. They just saw him as sort of embodying, almost in the same way that we talk about this idea of the North Node, of embodying an idea, symbol, and archetype, that he was almost the kind of archetype of the destructive male principle, which is needed to kind of bring about catharsis, so an end to something, that sort of cleansing fire or cleansing sort of flood, that kind of washes away the sort of ruins after an earthquake, or that leads to a sort of purging from the body after a healing crisis, and this is what allows this sort of death rebirth cycle to continue. But I think what's very interesting about this particular combination is that Bernadette Brady sees it as being often about cultural tipping points. So it's that kind of in chaos theory we have the kind of butterfly flapping its wings in China and setting off a storm in New York. I think what it's saying is that perhaps in order to move forward, in order to progress as a species, or on the planet, it may be that we need to let go of maybe a few things that we've reached a cultural tipping point about, such as internal combustion engine cars, hydrocarbon fuels, all of that kind of thing, which almost was sort of not taboo to talk about prior to COVID, but it was almost inconceivable. It was almost inconceivable that we could make that shift. So it's very interesting that we find ourselves where we find ourselves, and I think this is one of the silver linings of those aspects of Jupiter, is that we'll start to see the kind of meaning and the reasoning behind why a lot of the difficult things that we've been through in the last 18 months had to kind of happen.